Welcome to Question Bank. This is the fifth part of random MCQ, and let's get started for the first question. Question number 1. Which of the following statement is not true for class A type commutation for thyristor? Option A. This is also called the resonant or self commutation. Option B. This is only applicable for resistive load. Option C. Commutation circuit along with the load should be in underdamped condition. Option D. This is used for both AC and DC circuit. So here question is asking for statement is not true. So here option D is not true. That is, this is used in both AC and DC circuit. This is only used for DC circuit. That is why here the option B is given. This is only applicable for resistive loads. And option A is true. That is, option A is true. Option A, what is option A? This is also called the resonant or self commutation. This is the other names. Option C. Commutation circuit along with the load should be in underdamped condition. This is also true. Here is the circuit. How? Here is the circuit. Here is the thyristor. This one is the source, and this one is the inductor, capacitor, and the resistive load. This is the resistive R load, and this circuit, inductor and capacitor, is the commutation element. This is the commutation element, and due to this RLC circuit, here the resonance occurs. That is why its name is also called the resonant commutation. And here, as this is a oscillatory or a resonant circuit, here the condition is commutation should be underdamped, and in case of underdamped condition, R square, that is load resistance square, will be smaller than 4L by C. This is the condition for underdamped condition, and this is always under the underdamped condition. Next question. For the voltage divided by circuit of BJT given, what is the current stability factor? This is the question number 2. This is asking for current stability factor. First thing, what is current stability factor? Current stability factor S is given by del IC by del ICO. This is the current stability factor, and this is unitless. As this is the ratio, this is unitless, and practically it should be practical value should be less than 20. And here we have to calculate that S, that is current stability factor, and current stability factor is given by S is equal to beta plus 1, beta is the current gain, RTH, that is Thevenin equivalent resistance, plus RE, I will tell what is that RTH, by RTH plus beta plus 1 RE. This is the formula. And here, what is RTH? RTH is Thevenin equivalent resistance, which is here R1 and R2, parallel of R1 and R2. That is, suppose here is the, this one, like this. Here suppose I have equivalent resistance RTH instead of that R1 and R2, then RTH will be R1 parallel R2. What are these values? Here in the circuit, R1 is 500, R1 is 500 ohm, and this is 1000, and this will be 500 multiplied by 1000 by 1500, and the answer will be 333.33 ohm. This is the RTH. So we will put the values here. Beta is also given. Beta is given to be 99. Beta is given to be 99. So 99 plus 1, that is 100. I am writing directly into 1000 by 3. That is 1000 by 3 means that is 3.33. This is also 1000 by 3. 1000 by 3 plus 10. 10 is RE. Here RE. RE by RTH, that is 1000 by 3 plus 1000, and this will be around 25.75. So here the answer will be 25.75. Option number D is the correct answer. And I want to say more something about this more, that is, if RTH, that is Thevenin voltage, by RE is much more smaller than 1, then what will happen? In the formula, if RTH is much smaller than 1 here and here, what will happen? S will tends to 1. S will tends to 1. This is effective stabilization. This is called effective stabilization, because we know that S value should be less than 20, and here we are getting very less, that is tends to 1. So this is effective stabilization. There are also voltage stability factor. Voltage stability factor is given by S prime, which is del IC by del VBE, and the unit is ohm inverse. And another factor is amplification stability factor. Amplification stability factor, that is S double prime, which is given by del IC by del beta. And the most important factor is the current stability factor, that is S. And if S is guaranteed effective in the effective range, then S prime and S double prime will be in the effective range. So this is the end of this question. Next question, if the transfer function of the given circuit is given by T plus S by T plus beta S, then what are the values of T and beta? This is given the circuit. Here is the circuit. So here, first thing, if you don't know anything what circuit this is, you can solve this. You don't know anything about the circuit, which type of circuit or compensator or comparator, anything, you don't know anything. So how you can solve it? First we will apply KVL. VIS is equal to IS plus 1K, that is this one, 1K plus IS into 1K, this one, plus 1 by Cs. This is the capacitance in Laplace form into Is, and this will be Is taking common 2k plus 1 by 1 micro into S. I am not putting the micro and kilo values. Then V output can be written as Is into 1k plus 1 by 1 micro into S. Here this voltage, and transfer function is V output by V input, and this will be 1k plus 1 by 1 micro S by 2k plus 1 by 1 micro S. This will be, if we solve this one, this will be around S plus 10 to the power 3 by 2S plus 10 to the power 3. So here, and given what is transfer function given here in the question given here T plus S by T plus beta S, T plus S by T plus beta S. So here T value is 10 to the power 3, T value is 10 to the power 3, and the unit will be second inverse. Why second inverse? I am explaining. And beta is 2. Here the beta is 2. 10 to the power 3 and beta is 2. 10 to the power 3 and beta is 2. So here 10 to the power 3, beta is 2. So answer is this one. So if you know about the compensator, this circuit represents, this circuit represents the lag compensator. So for lag compensator, transfer function is represented by 1 plus tau S, tau is the time constant, 1 plus beta tau S. And here if we take common tau from numerator and denominator, what will happen? 1 by tau plus S by tau into 1 by tau plus beta S. This will happen, and this is equal to S plus 1 by tau by 1 by tau plus beta S. And beta for lag compensator is, here is the circuit, beta is this one plus this one by this one. So this will be 1k plus 1k by 1k, and this will be 2, and tau is R2C. This will be 1k into 1 micro. So this will be 10 to the power minus 3. And here this transfer function is comparable to the given one. What is given one? Given one is here, that is T plus S by T plus beta S. That means T is, what is T? T is 1 by tau. So here tau we are getting 10 to the power minus 3, and T will be 1 by tau, that is 10 to the power 3, and tau is the time constant and it has unit second. So this will have, T will have second inverse. So next question, a low pass filter with a cutoff frequency of 30 Hz is cascaded with a high pass filter with a cutoff frequency of 20 Hz. The resultant system of filters will function as option A, an all pass filter, an all stop filter, a band stop band reject filter, a band pass filter. So here this is very easy question. For low pass filter, low pass filter there is lower cutoff frequency because, and here given this is was 30 Hz. That means low pass filter means it will pass the lower frequencies. That means this frequency range it will pass, and this is 30 Hz. And given that high pass filter will have always a higher cutoff frequency. The frequency cutoff frequency is known as higher cutoff frequency, and this is given 20 Hz. In this case this is given as 20 Hz. So how this one will be look like this 20 Hz. The cutoff frequency is 20 Hz. So if they are, so first low pass filter will allow signals up to 30 Hz. This will allow signals up to 30 Hz. And in case of high pass filter, it will block signals up to 20 Hz and allow signals up to above the 20 Hz. So when both are cascaded, the resulting filter will block signals below 20 Hz and above 30 Hz. So here suppose this one is blockage and this one is also blockage. If both are cascaded, then what will be? This will be like this 20 Hz 30 Hz. So this will block frequencies below 20 Hz and frequencies above 30 Hz and allow in between frequencies, that is from 20 Hz to 30 Hz. So answer is band pass filter. This is not band stop filter, this is band pass filter. Next question, question number 5. Limit x tends to infinity, x to the power 1 by x is equal to. This is a very intelligent question, and here given is, if we put infinity, that is limit x tends to infinite x to the power 1 by x. If we put infinity simply, this will be infinity to the power 0. This is undefined, and as this is undefined, we have to form a indeterminate form so that we can apply that L'Hospital's theory. So here we will take, suppose this is, I am taking this one to be y. Sorry, this is taking 1 y is equal to this much. So what will happen? I am taking log of base e, so that ln y will be limit x tends to infinite 1 by x ln x. This will be 1 by x of ln x, and now this will be Now this will be, if I put limit into the bracket, then what will happen? Limit x tends to infinite ln x by limit x tends to infinite, this will be x. So this will be infinite by infinite form, that is we will apply L'Hopital's theorem. So this will be derivative of first in numerator and denominator. So this will be derivative of ln x is 1 by x and derivative of x is simply 1. Limit x tends to infinite. So this will be equal to limit x tends to infinite 1 by x, and this will be directly is equal to 0. So what we are getting? We are getting ln y is equal to 0. So what will be y? Y will be equal to e to the power 0, which will be equal to 1. So here answer will be 1. Option number C. Next question, question number 6. Question number 6 is, which of the following statement is not true for addition of poles to the system? Option A, relative stability increases. Option B, system becomes more oscillatory. Option C, settling time increases. Option D, rise time decreases. So here the answer is option A, because this is given that statement is not true for addition of poles to the system. So when poles are added to the system, relative stability decreases or reduces, and option B is correct, system becomes more oscillatory, right. Option C, settling time increases, this is also right. Rise time decreases, this is also right. And what are the more effects? Bandwidth increases, zeta, that is the damping factor, decreases, damping factor will decrease. And if question asked for the addition of zeros, the opposite effects that I have recently described here, the opposite effect will happen. So next question, a fair dice is rolled twice, the probability that an odd number will follow an even number. This is the probability question. What is given? A fair dice is rolled twice. So what will be the combinations? There will be, what will be the total combination? 6 square is equal to 36 combinations there will be. And odd will follow even, odd number will follow even. We have to find out these combinations. What are these combinations? Odd will follow evens. Suppose odd will follow evens. Suppose even number is 2. So odds can be find out by 1, 3 and 5. These are the odds. When 2 comes, then odd numbers are coming. So similarly for 4 there will be 3, and there for 6 there will be 3. So total number of the cases for which the odd will follow the even number is, total number will be 9. So probability will be, probability of that event will be 9 by 36, which will be directly equal to 1 by 4. So here answer is 1 by 4, option number D. Next question, the second harmonic component of periodic waveform given in the figure has amplitude of dash. This is the waveform given here, and this is asking for the second harmonic component of the periodic waveform and amplitude of the second harmonic. This is asking for amplitude. So here waveform is half wave symmetry. Waveform is half wave symmetry. Half wave symmetry. That means the negative replica of waveform from 0 to t by 2. From 0 to t by 2, the negative replica will be from t by 2 to t. This is the negative replica. This in this time, this is the negative replica of this one. And if we consider the with respect to the ft axis, then there will be also the same. So this is called the half wave symmetry. This is called the half wave symmetry. So for half wave symmetry, only odd harmonics will be present. So as odd harmonics will be present, here asking for the second harmonic component. So second harmonic component will be 0. So the amplitude also will be 0. Answer is D. Next question number 9. Transfer function of a second order system is given by 50 by a square plus ks plus 25. If k approaches to 0, then resonant frequency will approach dash. So here is the second order transfer function of second order system, that is 50 by a square plus ks plus 25. So here characteristic equation is a square plus ks plus 25, and omega will be omega n square is 25 and omega n will be equal to 5. Omega n will be 5 and 2 zeta omega n is k. Here this is question given that k approaches to 0. As omega n has finite value and 2 is a constant, k approaches to 0 means zeta approaches to 0. If zeta approaches to 0, then what will be the resonant frequency? So resonant frequency is given as omega r is given as omega n into root over of 1 minus 2 zeta square. When zeta approaches to 0, this approaches to 0, omega r will approach omega n. So here the answer will be resonant frequency will approach omega n, that is 5. This is the answer. Next question number 10. What is the phase angle between signals applied to the vertical and horizontal plates of a CRO if Lissajous pattern is given as follows? Here is the Lissajous pattern given, and here are the phase angle options. So for this type of questions, phase angle difference phi is given as sine inverse of x1 by x2. What is x1 by x2? That is small intersection. This one is the large. That is where small by large. This is the x1 by x2. So this will be sine inverse of 6 by 10. This will be equal to sine inverse of 0.6, and this is equal to 36.87 degrees. And the second probability, not only for this, also there is a second probability for which the phase angle will be the same and releases pattern also will be the same. That is the second probability is second probability or possibility. Second possibility is 360 degree minus, that is 2 pi minus phi, that is 360 minus 36.87 degrees. This will be 323.13 degrees. So here two answers are given. Two answers, that is 323.13 and 36.87, both are correct. So answer D will be the correct answer. Maybe both B or C, anything may be the answer. If this intersection, if the in the question this intersection is given in the y-axis, then this will also be the formula sine inverse of, suppose this one is the small y1 and this will be y2, y1 by y2. This is the formula. And if this is not in the first and third quadrant, this will be in the second and fourth quadrant, then what will be the formula? Second fourth quadrant, for second and fourth quadrant, this will be phi will be is equal to 180 degree minus sine inverse of small by big intersection. So for second and fourth quadrant, this is the formula. So next question, what is the clock setting multiplier of the relay connected through a CT having ratio 200:1, having current setting of 150% for a fault current of 2000 ampere? For this, clock setting multiplier is given as fault current in relay coil by pickup current. This is the formula, and this can also be reduced to fault current in line, that is actual fault current what is given by current setting into CT secondary rating, rated current into CT ratio. And here I will first find out what is pickup current. What is pickup current? Pickup current is of relay is the current setting, that is 150% into the rated current of the secondary, CT secondary. So this is given 200:1, that will be the rated secondary is 1 ampere for 200 ampere in the primary. So this will be equal to, as this is percentage, this will be equal to 1.5 ampere. This is the current, pickup current for the relay. And current in the secondary, CT secondary will be for fault current of 2000 ampere. The CT secondary will be 10 ampere, because this is the 200:1 the ratio. So CT secondary will gain 10 ampere. So clock setting multiplier will be the same current flows into the relay coil, that is which current is the same as that of CT secondary current, because CT is placed before that relay. So this will be 10 by 1.5. this will be equal to 6.67. So clock setting multiplier will be 6.67. So answer is option B, 6.66. Next question, question number 12. Convolution of two linear time invariant function is given by 3t square plus 5t plus 4. If the function are delayed by 2 seconds and 3 seconds respectively, then their convolution will be. So here suppose yt is a function which is convolution of x1 of t and x2 of t. This is the convolution given, and this is given as 3t square plus 5t plus 4. Then if the same functions x1 and x2 are delayed by 2 seconds and 3 seconds. So if suppose x1 function is delayed by t1 second and x2 is delayed by t2 second, then the convolution y will be delayed by t1 plus t2 second. This is the main thing. So here the total t1 plus t2 will be here 2 plus 3, which is equal to 5 second. So here y is given to be 3t square plus 5t plus 4. So this function will be delayed by 5 second. So this will be t3 into t minus 5 square plus 5 into t minus 5 plus 4, and this will be finally to be 3t square minus 25t plus 54. 3t square minus 25t plus 54. So option D is the correct answer. If scaling property is given in case of convolution, what will happen? Suppose x1 is scaled by alpha and also the x2 is scaled by alpha, the same fraction, then this will be yt, that is the convolution of x1 and y2 will be this 1 by alpha mod into y of alpha t, and alpha should not be equal to 0. This is the first scaling property. And another thing I want to say that convolution of any function with the impulse function will be always the same function, because in the delta function has Laplace transform as 1 and this has Laplace transform as, suppose this is phi of s, and convolution in time domain is the multiplication in the Laplace domain and vice versa. So this will be the same function. Next question, question number 13. For a single phase half wave AC voltage controller, input voltage is 220 volt. The firing angle is 30 degree. Then what is the RMS value of output voltage? So here this is given that for a single phase half wave AC voltage controller, single phase half wave AC voltage controller, and here input voltage is 220 volt, that means RMS V RMS input is given to be 220 volt. So V maximum will be maximum by root 2 is the RMS. So maximum will be root 2 into 220 volt. this is the V maximum, because we are going to put in the formula which have V max. So output RMS is given by V max by 2. Please refer the circuit diagram of that AC voltage converter. Here the input is AC and output is also AC, but output AC is delayed or cut down something using that thyristor firing angle. So if some portion is cut down, then the RMS will be decreased by somewhat. So here if this is 220 volt, then this will be always below 220 volt. So here option A or B, these are the probable answers. So we will solve and get what is the answer. Here 1 by pi, this is the formula. 2 pi minus pi by 6, this is the pi by 6 is the 30 degree, as here given in the question. Sine 2 alpha is the firing angle, sine 2 by 2, this is half, to the power half, and this will, if we solve this one, this will be around 218.4. so here option A is the correct answer. So if the options are, all the options are given other than that A are greater than that one 220 volt, then without solving you can select that option. Here option A and B are given and we can write it, solve it and write the answer. Next question number 14. Vi is equal to 2 plus 4 sin omega t, then what is the DC component added to output voltage by the circuit? Here is the circuit, and what is the DC output given, DC output added to the circuit. What circuit this is? This one is a negative clamping circuit. This one is a negative clamping circuit. This is a negative clamping circuit, and negative clamping circuit, here this is, there is a capacitor, and this will block the the DC input. So input is 2 plus 4 sin omega t, so this will block the 2. So input here, we will find the input here will be only 4 sin omega t, this will be the input. So in case of negative clamping circuit, the amplitude is, the shifting is equal to that of amplitude. So negative clamping circuit, in case of negative clamping circuit, DC component will be added same as that of amplitude, that is equal to -4. Why this is -4? Because this is negative clamping circuit. I am not explaining more things about clamping circuit here. Suppose this one is the circuit, this is suppose the only sin omega t, 2 plus 4 sin omega t will be like this, 2 plus 4 sin omega t will be like this, this will be 2 shifted above, and if I have added a capacitor here, then it will be the same for the diode. It will be cancelled out, only this will be the input, and in case of clamping circuit only the shifting occurs. What will be the output? Output will be like this, and here this will be 4, and this will be -8, this will be -4, and this will be -8. So shifted by -4, this is the DC component. Answer will be -4 plus 4 sin omega t. Next question, which of the following statement is correct for GM is equal to gain margin, PM is equal to phase margin, omega GC is gain crossover frequency, omega PC is equal to phase crossover frequency, omega GC is gain crossover frequency. Option A, system is stable for omega GC is smaller than omega PC. Option B, system is stable for both GM and PM being positive. Option C is system is stable for option A or option B. Option D is system is stable for option A and option B. So here the stability is defined by both PM and GM will be positive, and also omega GC should be less than omega PC, that is gain crossover frequency should be less than phase crossover frequency. So both A and B are correct, and here option D will be correct, that is system is stable for option A and option B. Not if only option A, that is this one or this one is satisfied, this will not a stable system. So here option D is the correct answer. And for unstable, if the system is unstable, then GM PM, that is gain margin phase margin, will be negative, both will be negative. Omega GC will be greater than omega PC, that is gain crossover frequency will be greater than phase crossover frequency. And for marginal stable, omega GC will be equal to omega PC, and GM PM will be 0. Next question, which of the following is correct? Which of the following is correct? SGN, that is signum function. Signum function is equal to ut minus 1. Option B, ut is equal to u of minus t. U of minus t is equal to 1 minus u of t. Signum of t is equal to ut plus 1. So here what is the signum function I want to define? Signum function t is equal to 2 ut minus 1. 2 ut minus 1. How this is coming? Signum function defined as 1 for t is greater than 1 and minus 1 for t is smaller than 1. That is like this. This is the t, and this is for t greater than 0, this is 1, and t smaller than 0, this is minus 1. This is 1 and this is minus 1. So if we here I have given it 2 ut minus 1. So how it is coming? 2 ut minus 1. Suppose 2 ut, what will be 2 ut? Here is the 2 ut. This is 2. This is the 2 ut. And if I subtract minus 1, so this will be, what will be subtracted? This one minus, what will be subtracted? Minus 1. This will be subtracted. So what will be the result? This is minus 1. So what will be the result? Result will be like this. Result will be like this. Result will be, this is 2 and this is minus 1 will be added to give 1. Here this is 1, and here this is not, there is nothing, so this will be minus 1. So this is a signum function. This is minus 1. So here signum function option A and D are not correct. So here option B is given, u of t is equal to u of minus t. This is also not correct, because u of t is given like this. U of t, this is u of t, and u of minus t means like this. u of minus t. U of t is not equal to u of minus t, and u of minus t is given as 1 0. 1 is for t smaller than 0, and for t greater than 0 this is 0, and u of t is given as 1 0. T is greater than 0 and t is smaller than 0. 1 for t greater than 0 and 0 for t smaller than 0. So here option C is the correct answer, that is u of minus t is equal to 1 minus u of t. U of minus t, what will be u of minus t? U of minus t is like this, u of minus t, this one, u of minus t is equal to, this will be equal to 1. 1 means everywhere 1 minus u of t. U of t means only this one, so this will be cancelled out. Only this part will present. Next question, which of the following represents unsymmetrical phasor matrix for the balanced star connected load given? So here given unsymmetrical phasor matrix, symmetrical component and unsymmetrical component. So unsymmetrical phasor matrix for this type of star connected load is given as, suppose these are all same, balanced, here written as balanced, and all are same, 2 ohm, J2 ohm, and these are also mutual inductances are also same. So self inductance I am writing as Zs, mutual inductance I am writing as Zm, and the ground is the resistance I am writing as Zn, neutral resistance. So what will be the unsymmetrical component? Matrix will be Zs plus Zn and Zm plus Zn, Zm plus Zn, and this is a symmetrical matrix. Unsymmetrical phasor matrix, first this has symmetry, this will have Zm plus Zn. Z components are on symmetrical components, but the matrix is having the symmetry, one type of symmetry, that is, this is because the terms are getting same. If there are not same elements or this is not balanced, suppose this is of 3, this is 4, this is 5, then this term, this is not will be a symmetry. I am given here because of the age of that question, m plus Zn, Zm plus Zn, Zs plus Zn, that is all the principal diagonal element are same, that is the self inductance plus the neutral resistance, and all other elements of diagonal elements are Zm plus Zn. This one is the main thing. So Zs plus Zn will be, Zs is J2 and Zn is 1. So 1 plus J2, 1 plus J2, 1 plus, where are 1 plus J2, 1 plus J2, and 1 plus J2, 1 plus J2, and Zm plus Zn. Zm plus Zn means Zm means mutual, that is J1 plus Zn is 1 plus J1, 1 plus J1, 1 plus J1. So option A is the correct answer. If this is given for symmetrical component matrix, symmetrical component matrix is given like this one. Symmetrical component matrix given as Zs plus 2Zm plus 3Zn, 0 component. This one is for positive component. this one is for negative component. So what will be this matrix? This matrix will be 3 plus j4 0 0 0 j1 0 0 0 j1. So this matrix will be equal to this one, option D. If given for symmetrical phasor matrix, then this will be the answer. So next question, question number 18. What is the value of second peak overshoot in percentage for negative unity feedback system having open loop gain? This one. So here open loop given is this is Gs is equal to 1 by S into S plus 1. So Hs is 1 as this is unity feedback. So what will be the transfer function? Transfer function will be G by 1 plus Gh. So here this will be equal to 1 by S into S plus 1 by 1 plus 1 by S into S plus 1, and this will be equal to 1 by S square plus S plus 1, and this is the characteristic equation. Characteristic equation is given as S square plus S plus 1 is equal to 0. This is characteristic equation, and here omega n is 1 root over, this will be 1 2 zeta omega n is equal to 1 2 into 1 into zeta will be equal to 1, zeta will be equal to 1 by 2, which is equal to 0.5. So what is peak overshoot? Peak overshoot or undershoot, this formula is MP percentage. In terms of percentage, peak overshoot or undershoot formula is exponential of, that is e to the power minus n zeta pi by 1 minus zeta square root over into 100. So this will be, what is n? N is for, I am writing here the drawing here the, suppose this one is the final value, that is 1 final value. So for second order system, underdamped system, this is the response. This is the response. And what is the, this is the peak overshoot, maximum peak overshoot. For n is equal to 1, this one. For n is equal to 2, this is the, this one. And for n is equal to 2, this is maximum peak undershoot. This is called peak undershoot. Can both, because this is also peak and this is also peak, but this is peak overshoot and this is peak undershoot. Peak undershoot. This is peak undershoot, and this one is second peak overshoot, and this is for 3, n is equal to 3. For n is equal to 4, the second peak undershoot. So here question is asking for the second peak overshoot. That means second peak overshoot means n is equal to 3, not 2. So here if we put n is equal to 3, that is exponential of minus 3 zeta is 0.5, that is half, into pi by 1 minus 1 by 4, that is zeta square, that is 0.5 square into 100, and this will come around 0.43 percentage. So here answer is option number C, that is 0.43 percentage. So next question, question number 19. The divergence of vector field divergence of vector field A vector is equal to x a cap x cap plus y a y cap plus z a z cap is. This is asking for the divergence. Divergence is given as the dot product of del operator and the vector. And what is the del operator? A x vector or a x cap unit vector x plus a y vector del y plus a z vector del y del z dot the function x ax plus y ay plus z az. This is the, and in case of dot product only answer will be a scalar, and this will be del by del x of x plus del by del y of y plus del by del z of z, and this will be 1 plus 1 plus 1, which will be equal to 3. So here answer will be 3, option number D. Next question, question number 30, sorry, question number 20. This is, if Laplace transform of a function is given by a square plus 3s plus 6 by s into a square minus s minus 6, when t tends to infinity, ft will approach dash. This is one of the excellent question, because what will general all student will do, direct will put the final value theorem and find out the answer. But here the final value theorem is defined as, I am giving the first final value theorem. What is final value theorem? Suppose ft has the Laplace transform of capital Fs, then limit t tends to infinity, f of t will be equal to limit s tends to 0, s into fs. This is the final value theorem, and this theorem is applicable when poles are sorry, this is not applicable when poles are conjugate or lies in the right side of the S plane. That means if the poles lies in the right side of the plane, then this will be a unstable system. This is why here the output will be unbounded and the final value theorem will be not be applicable. And for conjugate poles, the system will be like the marginal stable, or this will be oscillatory, and there will be no final value because there will be a oscillation. So here what are the poles? S into a square minus s minus 6 will be equal to 0. So if the question arises for the final value theorem or initial value theorem, we have to check the conditions, is this stable or not, for which conditions final or initial value theorem is applicable, that should be remembered. So here this is the characteristic equation, and this will be, first pole will be s is equal to 0, and second a square minus s minus 6 will be equal to 0, and here we are getting that s is equal to plus 3 and s is equal to minus 2. So here plus 3 is in the right side of the S plane, so this is not stable, and the final value theorem is not applied, not applicable here. So here answer will be not defined. Don't put the s into fs, s tends to 0. So this will be a wrong answer for this one, or the infinity also will be a wrong answer. So this is the end of this video, and thank you for watching up to here.